Welcome to Dr. Mercola's Cellular Wisdom. Stay informed with quick, easy-to-listen summaries of our latest articles, perfect for when you're on the go. No reading required. Subscribe for free at Mercola.com for the latest health insights.
If you sit more than 10.5 hours today, your chance of heart failure rises by nearly half. But you can reverse that risk with minutes of simple movement. Hello, and welcome to Dr. Mercola's Cellular Wisdom. I'm Ethan Foster, and we're focusing on how everyday sitting quietly strains your heart.
I'm Alara Sky. Together, we'll break down new evidence from almost 90,000 adults showing that prolonged sitting damages cardiovascular health even when you meet weekly exercise targets.
Modern life funnels you into chairs, office desks, car seats, couches, screens, and that routine builds silent pressure on your heart. The study we're discussing used wrist-based activity trackers, not questionnaires, so the numbers are precise rather than estimated.
Participants averaged 62 years old, 56% were women, and researchers followed them for 8 years after a week of continuous tracking. Those who sat beyond 10.6 hours daily faced a 45% higher risk of heart failure and a 62% higher risk of dying from cardiovascular causes.
Importantly, that tipping point applied even to people completing the customary 150 minutes of moderate to vigorous exercise each week. Morning workouts did not erase damage accumulated during the rest of the day.
The data showed smaller, but still steady increases, 11% and 15%, in irregular heartbeat and heart attack risk as sitting time climbed. For heart failure and cardiovascular death, the danger spiked sharply once you crossed the 10.6-hour threshold.
Let's unpack what happens inside you when hours slip by in a chair. Blood flow slows, especially in your legs, impairing endothelial function. Arteries stiffen, blood pressure rises, and clot risk increases.
At the same time, muscle inactivity lowers insulin sensitivity, destabilizes blood sugar, and promotes visceral fat storage. Your mitochondria downshift, reducing oxygen use and energy production while fostering oxidative stress and chronic inflammation, all precursors to cardiovascular disease.
That explains why researchers concluded that structured workouts are great, but they don't undo 8 hours of sitting. Movement must become a rhythm threaded through your day, not a single appointment.
Even reallocating just 30 minutes of sitting to light or moderate activity dropped heart failure risk by 7%. That finding held true for participants who already met exercise guidelines, underscoring the power of brief, consistent movement.
Picture a typical workday. You drive to the office, sit through meetings, break for lunch at your desk, commute home, and unwind on the couch. Hours accumulate quickly. Tracking your total sedentary blocks reveals why risk surges past that 10.6-hour line.
Let's translate the research into 5 practical steps drawn directly from the article. Step 1. Avoid long periods of sitting. Monitor total sedentary time and aim to limit it, ideally below 3 hours, but at minimum under that 10.6-hour ceiling.
Step 2. Stand for 10 minutes every hour. Simply rising activates multiple muscle groups, restores circulation, and restarts your metabolism. A standing desk or a reminder on your phone makes the habit automatic.
Step 3. Replace 30 minutes of sitting with walking each day. Pace during phone calls, loop the block at lunch, or take a post-meal stroll. That single half-hour swap delivered measurable heart protection in the study data.
Step 4. Build movement into daily routines, not just workouts. Convert meetings to walk and talk sessions. Take stairs rather than elevators. Park farther from entrances, or stretch while reading. Frequent micro moves break up sedentary streaks.
Step 5. Challenge yourself to walk more than you think you need. Use a step tracker, set a goal, then surpass it. Gamifying movement boosts motivation and helps dismantle the habit of prolonged sitting.
Listeners often ask whether gym time cancels out sitting risks. According to the study, it doesn't. You must interrupt sedentary stretches repeatedly throughout your day to safeguard your heart.
Another frequent question: which heart problems are linked to too much sitting? The research associated prolonged sitting with higher rates of heart failure, irregular heartbeat, heart attacks, and cardiovascular death.
People also wonder about equipment. You don't need a gym membership or specialized gear. Standing during calls, walking between tasks, or using a basic timer suffices to trigger the protective benefits documented by researchers.
You might ask, how dangerous is my current routine? Use the study's threshold as a benchmark. If you sit over 10.6 hours today, you have entered the higher risk bracket, regardless of your evening workout.
Let's revisit the numbers: a 45% jump in heart failure risk and a 62% jump in cardiovascular death risk for those beyond the threshold. That sharp incline emphasizes why every hour matters.
Conversely, reallocating merely 30 minutes of sitting to light movement confers a 7% reduction in heart failure risk. Those gains are available without new gym clothes, memberships, or apps, just deliberate breaks.
Consider scheduling standing intervals during routine tasks, checking email, reading reports, or brainstorming. 10 minutes on your feet each hour totals 80 minutes over an 8-hour workday, significantly cutting sedentary load.
Outside work, integrate movement into leisure. Stand during television commercials, walk while listening to podcasts, or perform gentle stretches between chapters of a book. Each choice chips away at risk.
The study's linear relationship between sitting time and a regular heartbeat highlights that every additional sedentary hour nudges risk higher. You don't have to reach the threshold for harm to begin.
Yet the findings also show that benefits accumulate linearly when you replace sitting with activity. Small, repeatable choices, standing, stretching, pacing, stack into meaningful cardiovascular protection.
If you manage a team, promote walking meetings, or stand-up check-ins, you'll improve collective heart health and often see fresher ideas surface when people move.
Parents can weave activity into family time, playing on the floor, walking after dinner, or choosing active games. These habits model heart-protective behavior for children and reduce your own sedentary hours.
Older adults or those with limited mobility can still break seated periods with gentle standing stretches, light household tasks, or brief hallway walks. The article emphasizes that any movement counts.
Remember, you're not aiming for perfection, but momentum. Each interruption of sitting restarts metabolic processes, lowers blood pressure spikes, and protects vessel flexibility.
Let's address another listener concern. Do I need to track steps precisely? While metrics help, the essential goal is frequency. Stand up, move, and repeat. Those actions matter more than exact numbers.
For those curious about optimal targets, limiting sitting to under 3 hours daily is ideal. If that feels unrealistic, focus first on breaking the 10.6-hour ceiling and progressively trimming sedentary time.
From commuting patterns to streaming binges, modern conveniences invite stillness. Recognize that invitation and counter it with deliberate motion. Your heart responds quickly to these shifts.
Before we close, let's summarize the core message. Excessive sitting silently injures your cardiovascular system, but frequent, modest movement, standing, walking, stretching, offers immediate, measurable protection.
Here's your practical challenge. For the next 7 days, stand for at least 10 minutes every hour and trade 30 minutes of your usual sitting time for walking. Note your energy levels and how simple it becomes to interrupt long seated stretches. Thank you for watching Dr. Mercola's Cellular Wisdom. We'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe now and click the notification bell so you never miss an update. See you in the next video.